moments in the history of popular music when a single song rises above everything around it and becomes something else entirely. Not just a record that people enjoy, but a piece of work that endures because it captures something true about the human experience. Gordon Lightfoot spent a lifetime creating those moments, and in doing so became one of the most original and gifted songwriters the world has ever heard. He arrived on the music scene in the early 1960s with a voice and a vision so completely his own that there was simply nobody to compare him to. That baritone wrote over arrangements of such elegant simplicity that every word landed exactly where it needed to. His songs existed somewhere between the real and the mythic, grounded in specific human feelings, and yet reaching toward something timeless. Each one pulled you in from the opening note and held you there, not because it demanded your attention, but because walking away was simply not something you were able to do. Bob Dylan once called him his favorite songwriter, not one of his favorites, his favorite. Elvis recorded his songs. So did Johnny Cash and Barbra Streisand. And yet, Lightfoot remained something rarer and more valuable than fame. He was a songwriter's songwriter, the quiet colossus whose work meant everything to the people fortunate enough to find it. But it was a November night in 1975 that would call forth his masterpiece. On the 10th of that month, a massive iron ore freighter called the Edmund Fitzgerald set out across Lake Superior carrying 26,000 tons of iron ore pellets bound for the steel mills of Detroit. She was 729 feet long, nearly the length of the Titanic, and she'd been working these waters for 17 years, season after season, of hard service on one of the most unpredictable bodies of water on Earth. Her captain was a veteran with 4 decades of experience, and her crew of 29 were men who knew what Lake Superior was capable of. What they could not have known was that the storm building around them was gathering itself into something beyond all experience. The waves grew enormous as the storm drove them eastward across hundreds of miles of open water, building and converging until they reached a magnitude that no ship was built to survive. The leading theory among those who have studied the disaster is that a succession of monstrous waves drove the bow of the Fitzgerald beneath the surface. And once that happened, there was no recovering. The stern rose. The weight of the ship and her cargo took over, and she went straight to the bottom of a lake that was 500 feet deep at that point. Unlike the Titanic, which took 2.5 hours to sink and gave her passengers time to react, the Edmund Fitzgerald was simply gone. No distress call, no warnings, no time. 29 men, and then silence. Gordon Lightfoot read the news accounts and felt the weight of those lives pressing on him. Within weeks, he had written a song, asked the questions that would never be answered, and transformed a tragedy into something sacred. The families of the crew wrote to thank him, and the song itself has never stopped playing, not just on the anniversary of the sinking, but every day in every part of the world, carried forward by anyone who has ever been stopped cold by music that reaches past entertainment. That was Gordon Lightfoot's gift, and it was one that he never squandered. Some music entertains you. Gordon Lightfoot's music becomes part of you.